individual actions. We need to advocate for policies that support women's leadership and gender equality. And firstly, we need to ensure that women have access to education and training in climate-related fields. So this will help to build their knowledge and expertise in the subject and enable them to contribute meaningfully to the response to climate change. Because when they can learn something and then get the right skills, they can really bring the real impact, which is really be meaningful for our world. But if they try to do something only from themselves without any kind of support or maybe external support, then maybe they are going to get changed something, but it's not going to be bigger. That's why we all have to work on this together for giving maybe training or kind of mentorship. And we also need to recognize the contribution that women make to climate action and ensure that they are appropriately rewarded for their efforts. Yeah, we know that this month is International Women's Day. So this kind of thing, we can start it by maybe includes recognizing the unpaid care worker that women often perform, as well as providing financial support for women-led initiative, for example. And then we also need to ensure that women have access to resources and support to implement their ideas and initiative. And this could include be funding, mentorship, and networking opportunities. So by providing these resources, can help to amplify women's voices and ensure that their ideas are heard and implemented as well. And next, we can also ensure that women are represented in decision-making bodies related to climate change. This is really important because, this thing can include government bodies, non-government organization, and private sector organization. Because when we only want to take action, but we don't really have the power for that kind of decision making, it's really going to be harder for us because it seems like we are fighting alone. But if we can take something into more accountable ways, for example, like in the decision making, we get involved in that way, then it can really help us to maybe get the idea get down. So ensuring these kind of things really can make women represented and also help to ensure that their perspective are taken into account into decision-making process. The thing is that many women outside there, I do believe that they have a great ideas to fight or to against the climate action. But the thing is like, maybe they are unheard, or maybe the government didn't even know that they access their government, they didn't even believe about their idea and so on, because there's no community related to. So it's really difficult for them to achieve this goal, even though they have so much brilliant ideas. That's why we do really need women to take in another level for decision making process. And finally, we also need to ensure that we can create a supportive environment for women's leadership in climate action. So this means like creating a culture that values and recognizes the contribution of women, which is provide them with the support and encouragement they need to succeed. You know, we need to empower each other. We have to lift up each other because we are stronger when we are together. Right? So we do really need to encourage more women to take into this action, especially climate action is really, really need our attention and full support, because we have witnessed how bad it is going to be for our future generation if we don't try to take care of it for this time. So to conclude my speech, I do really hope that all of you maybe really going to understand that the issue of women leadership in climate action is critical importance, and women have a unique perspective and expertise that can help to drive the innovation and solution. I do really hope that people can remember about it, because we know that there are so many gap cases for like a gender equality and so on, but we do really have to believe that women have the expertise that can help to drive the innovation and solution that are necessary to address the challenges of climate change. And by ensuring the women's leadership is fully integrated into our response to climate change, we can also ensure a more equitable and response that benefits to everyone. And again, We need women's unique skills, perspective, and experiences to build more sustainable and equitable and also resilient world. So let us work together to promote women's empowerment and create a brighter future for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aviana ma'am. It was like always, I just like listening to you, and you always come up with a very good points. And yes, because as you were talking about the leadership of the women and the equality of the women, sometimes we just think that when even I had this topic, women's leadership is the key to climate action, I was thinking like, what is the relation between this, the women leadership and the climate action? And of course, when we are talking about, we always know that the women are facing inequality in in all the areas, in fact, all the areas. And when we are facing this, especially the disasters, we can say the natural disasters, and there are floods or earthquakes and all. So women have different kind of problems at that time. They really have a different kind of problems at that time. And that is that we have to always address to. And it was really great listening to you. Thank you. Thank you. So, my dear viewers, you are actually listening to Hadiana Devi Nirtika ma'am from Indonesia. And with this, I call upon the next speaker, Dr. Pooja Dikshit Joshi, another a very talented and versatile speaker from the ITYM. Please, ma'am, please take over the stage.
Thank you so much, Anjum, Dr. Anjum, for the warm welcome. It's a pleasure being here always. It's in my extended family. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the water to create many ripples. A very good evening to all the eminent speakers of the Global Women Summit. And I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Idym founder, Ravi Shankar sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And Idym never leaves any stone unturned in providing improving its standard. Every event comes with a new thought and make us learn so many things. And I think we all are who has been a part of this IDYM knows this very well. So today we are here on a discussion of women leadership and climate change, how it has been affected. As my co-speaker has just spoken about, that it is very essential that how women leaders especially should work for the climate. You know, as we know that we are living in a patriarchal society. Patriarchal society again a kind of a differentiation between men and women. Why we are focusing on women only? Because the kind of social norm which has been created in the society is as such that we need to again and again remind of that. If we talk about the leading nations who standing up for human rights to running the world's most important organization, women continue to shape the world through their leadership. And we have an example from 1857, Rani Lakshmibai. So life is not a contest between men and women. It is a collaboration. I will again repeat that life is not a contest between men and women. It is a collaboration between the two. So every human, we are a human being. We have been differentiated by our biological needs. We should talk about equality of men and women, not analogy. Masculinity and femininity are factual. They exist everywhere. And we have number of example that as a woman, I have some characteristic of masculine also, and a man also have a feminine characteristic. So this is a very important point which all should keep in mind. Like we have Ardhanarishwar. Again, the example. So both men and women should be treated as a rational being, first of all, and they should be imagined as a social order for being a reason to for the foundation of the society. Now, as we know, the idea of masculinity and femininity are guided by the norms and expectations, which involves a pattern of division of labor or a feeling of a mode of feeling or a sort of clothing, system of learning, communication, resources, and power. Now, there are a number of examples. For example, a girl is supposed to play with the soft toys, while a boy can play with the hard thing. Why? Again, the patriarchal system, the norm which has been set up in a typical way. Norms and expectation are so powerful and being influential, which create a pressure on the mode of the behavior of people. And this is compulsion. The opinion of the society forms the norms and expectation. So I mean, talking about this leadership is not a person or a position. It is a complex moral relationship between people based on trust, obligation, commitment, emotion, and a shared vision of the good. You are never too small to make a difference. For example, if I want to be a prime minister, I can. If you don't, that's wonderful. But I need to work. I need to put my heels high So these are the things which we say that hum nahi kar sakte, is no way. If you wish something, you can cover. So we need to empower ourselves, especially women, to do exactly what they want, to be true to ourselves, and to develop those or to grab those opportunities. We need to take things as it comes. We know that we haven't have done before. Growth and comfort do not coexist. I have been into this program, or I've been into as a speaker, and I've seen that it takes a time to get a woman a position at a higher level. Always there's a discrimination because there are certain things attached to those their roles. Now again, the role conflict which they face when they are at a workplace and at their household. Today we are talking about the climate solution. Why how gender equality at the center of climate solution. There are a number of women climate activists, and we have Narmada Bachao Andolan. The leader of the Narmada Bachao Andolan is Medha Patekar. And if you go to the case study of Medha Patekar, you will find that how much she has to struggle for that. Narmada Bachao Andolan was started for the Narmada River and for the Sardar Patel Dam, and it started in 2002, and still till now the Medha Patikar and the team is struggling for the justice. So again, if the patriarchal system, if the norms have been not that, the things would have been different. Now, this we know that we are living in 21st century. We can see the visibility that how we all women are facing. But if we talk about the globally, their voices are still missing. We need there are the global funds who are working for the giving them those funds. They are supporting the women. There are trans farmers who are working for the environmental conservation. There are climate resilience. There are leadership. But again, the climate change has to be taken as a threat, and it has to be taken by different women which have come up and leading the critical work to sustain the planet. And our precious resources they are saving, and we know that women are the preservers. They have given the life. So that's why we are relating with the climate. How this women who is giving a birth to a baby, to a newborn, that how it can affect it. So now, while there are different laws, there are different things has been made, but how many people know it? We need to develop those we need to develop those practices which works for the betterment of the gender equality. Now, coming about solution to this climate, that we need to integrate this diverse gender perception in a very holistic and in a holistic approach, so that the risk should be lessened. We know that women are in 21st century are given full and equal participation in decision making. This everybody will agree. So it should be the top priority to fight against the climate change. Whatever their decision are, it should be a part of that. Without gender equality today, a sustainable, more equal future remain beyond our reach. So we need to improve and invest in the gender specific stats and the data which contrasts between the relationship between a gender and a climate. We need to strengthen the right, promote women lead and women focused sustainable solution, particularly the indigenous. We are an agriculture country, and we have been a tribal people where the men and the women both used to work. Was no discrimination. But when it comes with the reproduction, then after the industrial revolution, the women were kept aside. This division came that time. So since then, now we are struggling, and we know how this. So indigenous women are using all the agriculture production things and are making managements to restore the fragile ecosystem for the healthy future. Now, again, with that, there are the gender stereotype attached to it, but we need to empower women to contribute to the decision making process in these communities. The first, climate solution must take a gender responsive approach. I mentioned about the holistic approach. I mentioned about the gender responsive approach to financing. They should be given the right to take the decision to lead the big projects. I mentioned the Narmada Bachao Andolan about Medha Patikar. So when women lead action, will be sufficiently equitably funded to achieve just a green transition. Then we can think of a sustainable tomorrow. So we need to invest and to promote technology that enhances renewable and clean energy resources. So three things: recognize the work of the women, appreciate the women, applaud what they have been doing and cheer for being a brave woman for taking this climate change and being advocated for this equitable, gender focused, and climate action measure. Now, we need to reshape our perception. We need to see how other people see us. We have to we have to take a step more. We have to lead. As you know, history, the word history is his story. History is a story. To get a complete picture of the world, we also need her story. So this is a bifurcation. I am just talking about the history. So we need to create an example by leading for this planet, by working for the planet of that is called our Earth. So I think with this, I would wind up my thought for today. And thank you once again, Anju ma'am, for giving me this platform and my sharing my thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ram. It was really great, listening to your thoughts. And of course, like you were talking about Meera Parker, I know she has been, she was here when she came here in Maharashtra. Actually, my husband has also worked with her. So I know
Yes,
very closely of her work. And as we are talking about climate action, even in Chandrapur, you can say, but that ma'am just passed away during the COVID time. But
hmm.
she was like very determined, especially about plantation. She
Yes,
liked that very much. She used to always in all the meetings and all the programs, she used to tell about the plants and how to have
yes,
different kinds of plants. In fact, it is that they leave a legacy behind. So now,
yes,
after she passed away, like in our area, there are a number of at number of places plantation has been done, and everywhere her name is written. Everywhere her name is
yeah.
written. Midwife. And now she has done a great work. And whenever
Yes.
nowadays we go, we just remember her. We just remember her. We
And you
can't.
know, Anjuman, she was a PhD. She has done a PhD, but she took a lead and for this Narmada Bachao Andolan.
Yeah.
And there is again, if you remember the Garhwal area, there's a Tehri Dam. There also the group of women have come up. And that is known as Chipko Andolan, if you recall that Chipko
Yes.
Andolan. The ladies were attached with the trees. Don't cut the trees. So the women,
Yes.
if come to the point, they can bring a massive change in the society.
Of course, they can be bringing a massive change in the society. And in fact, nowadays, I find everywhere, everywhere in India and around the world, there are women who are coming forward for this, for the climate
Yes,
action.
yes.
And here in our place, we have one more project that is going on. That is a euphonia. It is a plant. It is a weed kind of thing that
Okay,
just grows up in rivers. So
okay.
actually, that is the people earlier used to think that it is just a weed. It will just grow and it will
Hmm,
absorb all the water. So
hmm,
now,
hmm.
when actually what they have been doing is they are taking out it from the river. They will
Okay.
just allow it to dry, and from that they are making caps and they are making bags and all, and they are getting good orders. So this is
Hmm.
how and that is being run by a woman. That is again being run by a
So that
so
is what I think the Greta, we should not forget Greta. How Greta has come up. The
yeah,
teenage girl talking about climate action. So this
yes,
is how we live in a strange world where children are sacrificing their life for this climate change.
yes. And yes, I think there are a few more people. Like in fact, the speakers which we had, two more speakers, they did not join. But I can see Bhavna Chawla ma'am and Geeta Suryavanshi ma'am. So if you would like to share something on today's topic, you're welcome for that. Geeta Suryavanshi ma'am and Bhavna Chawla ma'am. If you'd like to share something, I think they're not. They're
I
there.
think I think not audible. I think.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I saw Dr. Patricia before.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
she's
was
joined
there.
in between. I saw her. I also saw her joining, but she has left. Maybe she must be having some network issues or something.
Oh, okay.
Because I saw her, she has joined the session in between when it was going on. So, anyone else would like to share anything more? Diana ma'am, Pooja ma'am.
I think I'd love to add something like
Sure.
don't be afraid to take an action in this field, because yeah, we all know that the thing is, when women want to take action in some kind of new workforce, we kind of feel like we are small because we see all the leaders in that field maybe are men, or maybe those stakeholders in the company or some kind of people which is really big are men, and we feel like I might be really small in this field and I'm not quite sure if I can do well in this field. So we have to address, and also maybe people need to make more training or mentorship also about the gender pay gap. So when we can make ourselves believe about our ability, and we can really prove that we can be confident, and let's say we can apply to any kind of the things that we want, and no matter how many men around us, even though it's like new place, new company, new organization, that we can stand tall because we do believe. So the thing is that I'm sure we have heard many times about this, that you have to be really careful with your mind. So it's also same with climate action. Imagine like if one person thinks like it's okay to throw rabbits everywhere because it's not going to happen anything. If one person keeps thinking in that mindset, then it's going to be bad. So we do really need to encourage the young generation and the old people as well, like the elderly, that we have to fix our mindset first when we want to solve this challenge. Because no matter how great the idea, no matter how great the platform, the industry or the company who is going to tackle this issue, if the people's mindset who is going to get involved still really left behind, or maybe they are not in a growth mindset, then we are not going to hold it accountable for a long time. But when we want to fix the climate change, we do really need to take time for it, because it's not going to finish in 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. It's really need to take time. So when it takes years, for example, for doing something, we do really need people who are able to hold them accountable for this kind of responsibilities. And when we want to make accountable for all people, it means like we have to set them in the same right mindset. It doesn't mean like we and the other people have to be in the same thought. I didn't mean it. I mean like, at least no matter what kind of the thought that you have on your mind, we are going to reach the same goal. As long as we have the same goal, no matter what kind of the process that you are doing on your mind, I think it's really still going to be great. So we don't have to force all people to follow our ways. We don't have to make our ideas have to be heard really difficult. As long as we know the exact goal is the same at the end, we can really fight for it. So I think nowadays, even in any kind of problem in all field, in all industry, we have to set the right mindset first, because it's going to burn out themselves. For example, some kind of community for teenagers or maybe young generation, they might be really super excited. Oh, I saw Greta doing really great on Twitter. She mentioned about something about the climate change and it's going viral, and I want to do that as well. Some teenagers outside there really want to follow kind of viral thing, right? And then when they try to do it, they might get bored, they might get burnt out at the end, because they have like half mindset, like maybe 50% they have a growth mindset, but the other 50% they still have kind of fixed mindset, which is really think like, I'm already good in this thing, I don't want to learn something new, or maybe I don't want to be flexible because I already think I'm a good person. That's not going to bring people nowhere too far. So no matter what kind of things, we have to make more mentorship or maybe program for teenagers and elderly as well, to be in the same mindset. I mean, like, we have the same goal to save our world, to make this planet better for our future generations. So no matter what kind of the process that you have on your mind, or no matter what kind of the ideas on your mind, you know that you have to keep doing it. So you're not going to get burned at the middle of the way, at the middle of the project. So when you feel bored, or maybe when you feel like overwhelming about the project that you are going to have in the future, you know exactly that you're not going to stop. So because these things or this problem, it's going to take years to solve. Like we already start SDG from, yeah, from years before, but we still keep doing it again because it takes time to fix something, especially this big earth, right? We need the more the merrier people, it's going to be better for our world to do this kind of thing. So yeah, I think during this a long process, it's really important that we pay attention to each other. Like we don't want to make other people get burned out or maybe overwhelmed or maybe even stress themselves just because the result that they are having maybe not same with the other result from other people. So one thing for sure for the climate change is we have to keep going it. We cannot stop just because something a little bit better that we already see, or maybe we cannot stop just because we didn't see the result. So either we didn't see the result or we already see the result, we cannot stop because we have to keep going it in order to really feel the benefits of what we have worked or what we have done in this climate action issues. So I think, yeah, that's all. Yeah, the point is the mindset from people around the world. We have to really fix it because, some people really being arrogant to think like, I don't really have to do this. Some other people feel like, I feel bad for our planet because this has happened. So we have to really make a balance, because when there is no balance in this world, we can really mix up everything and it's not going to be beneficial for us. And I think, yeah, we have to be in the right mindset to face this climate action, because when there are so many selfish people still exist, then this climate issues really going to be difficult to get solved. Because when we talk about the earth, we do really need someone who really taking care in the long term. So in the term of like selfishness or something like that, we can really hope many things from those kind of people. So yeah, we need to work on their mind first before we try to get involved in the everything. So when we have the right mindset with our people, with our community, then we can get along much easier and also longer and stronger. So we can make a brighter future for our generation. I think that's it.
Yes, of course, of course. It's really great thoughts coming up about how women can be contributing to the society. And yes, because we have our most speaker, Pooja Dikshit ma'am. Ma'am, before leaving, I would like to hear, not just I can say, not me, but even viewers who are watching us, we would like to hear a message from you.
I totally agree with what Hadina ma'am has talked about, that the change in the mindset is the need of the hour. Women are disproportionately affected by the climate change, and we have discussed over this. So the need of the hour is that the mindset, that the leadership, that the organization should come up. The school should promote these activities where they are doing such work which work for the climate. And it's not only the male. I know we are doing it, but more we need to increase the frequency of that. When the participation of both the genders are being given, then we can talk about the climate justice. So it's just if we took away the barriers to women leadership, we would solve the climate change problem more faster. We need women across the world are driving renewable energy, and transactions should be there that support climate change. It's not only just the male, it starts from the house only. For example, when we are in a kitchen, we need to work, we need to when we are chopping the vegetables, so we need to save it. We need to just repost it and then use it in the garden. So these small activities, when we start from house, things might change, because the children will see, as Hadina ma'am has talked about, that we need to upgrade, we need to orient the children, so they will see the same thing will be repeated. So I think with this activities, day to day activities, we can give our we can contribute for the development of the climate, or we can say for the renewable, we can save the renewable energy. And if we wanted to save an environment, we need to make children and our grandchildren learn that how it is important to make, or how it is important to do our task more wisely. So with this, I think I would like to sum up. One thing I would like to add, that we need to increase the static gender interest. This static gender interest and the practical gender needs. These are the two parameters which are related to the condition of women. That has to be increased. Those who are from the women or feminist background, they will understand that the need and the want should be clear for both the genders. Thank you.
Yes, yes, Sam. As you rightly said, like it should start from the home because yes, of course, like our mother is the first teacher. We say it should start from the home, and you talked about a small tip how we can be using when we are chopping the vegetables. How can we using it? And similarly, such kind of projects should be encouraged in schools also. And like
Yes.
we were talking about women organization, that I have seen that somewhere this women organization, they go for working not only in climate related issues, but even for other. They are facing a lot of discrimination. They have to face a lot of problems being a woman. Like yes, being a woman, especially in India, working at some odd hours is really a problem for us. And when they go to the offices, and sometimes we have to go for permissions also. Some kind of permissions we have to take and all. They're facing a lot of discrimination. So we need to come together, and especially we need to support each other regarding this. And after all, sometimes it is that collaboration is the key. So there,
Yes.
we have to, women have to support each other, and more than that, we need, where we talk of gender equality, we talk of the support for the men. We women need to support each other, and then I know we can be making a great change in the society. And as we are talking about climate action, even for that, yes, there are many women organizations who are working for this, but their efforts are not being recognized. That is again an issue. They're working a lot. They're working a lot every year, depending upon the area where they are living in, because every area will be having their own related issues in the state. But they are not getting focused. They are not receiving that kind of identity that they should be receiving. And here we can again help the women who are working in this field to get an identity and let their work get recognized, so that more women get motivated to join them. And we can be doing always that we can make this, we together, if we come together, we can make this world a better place also.
Very
So
true.
thank
Very true.
you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, all the speakers and our members who have joined us. Actually, it was even waiting, like we have two more speakers who couldn't join. I don't know, they must be having some kind of technical issues or something. But thank you. Thank you very much, Ariana ma'am and Pooja Dikshit ma'am, for your wonderful insights on this topic. Women's leadership is the key to climate action. So with this, we come to the end of the sixth day of our Women Empowerment Summit 2023. And it was again a fruitful discussion, a very good panel discussion. I once again thank from the bottom of my heart. I thank every one of you. And of course, we cannot just live without thanking the founder of ITYM Group of Companies, Ravi Shankar sir, because he is the person behind the screen. And two more ladies who have been working continuously behind the screen, Zenith ma'am and our sweet CEO Renu last May. In fact, I have been mentioning this every day that yes, we have a female CEO, and that too a very young. And like we are talking so much about this equality, women empowerment, we can see IDYM is a platform that has given responsibility of being a CEO to a 14-year-old girl. So that is
That
again,
is again an example of gender equality.
yes, yes. So thank you one and all. Thank you for joining with us.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Anjum.
you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you. Bye bye, Hadina
Anjum.
ma'am. Bye bye, everyone. Bye, Anjum ma'am. Bye.
Good evening.
Good
Bye.
evening. Bye bye.